Well, Danny, let's start by just looking back, just reflecting on that double home weekend, 3 points out of 4. How do you reflect on that a few days on?
I think in hindsight, you're happy with the 3 out of 4 points against two tough teams, and I think against Belfast, I think we came out well. We created a lot of great A's in that first period. Probably unlucky not to be up more. And then I think maybe the 3 kills that we had to kill off in the first, and then the fourth one there, kind of 5-6 minutes into the second period, maybe caught up to us in the sense and maybe put us back on our heels a little bit. I didn't think we managed the puck very well in the second period, and when that you have that combination against Belfast, they're a very good offensive zone team, puck possession team, and they did a good job. They had us back on our heels. Carsey had to make some good saves. We had a couple good stops from our D as well in terms of blocks, getting to second pucks quick. So, but in the third period, I thought we were a lot better. You know what? And then, you get to the shootout, toss of a coin, but certainly earned the point. I wouldn't say we probably deserved the 2 either way, but, overall, I was okay with our performance. I didn't like our second period. Probably could have been better, but, you're not going to be perfect. And then, turn around and play Coventry the next night. With them not playing the night before, and it was a heavy game against Belfast. I felt it was a playoff type pace and physicality, and for the most part, I was happy with our game. I don't think we were great against Coventry, but we managed the game well, and ultimately did enough. I think our third period was great, which probably won us that hockey game, and overall, okay in terms of performance, but 3 out of 4 points, we'll take it.
Thought the penalty kill was immense all weekend. It got me checking the stats. I think you're second now on PK in the high 80s behind Sheffield, who have a remarkable 100% in league play. And your power play's up at 33% in league play. How happy are you with your special teams at the moment?
Anytime your special teams can tick at those percentages and be that productive, I mean, you're going to win more games than you lose. And, been thrilled with both parts of our game. And now I think it's just shoring up our consistency in our 5-on-5 play. To make sure that we're getting closer to those 60-minute performances.
Chase Pearson was back at the weekend and obviously got 2 goals, scored 1 on the power play. How much of a difference do you think it had having him in the lineup?
A massive difference. I mean, he's a top end player at this level, and on both sides of the puck, and in all situations too. We talked about that power play percentage, and even though he's only had the 3 league games, he's a big part of that. I think he's got 3. I might be wrong. 3 power play goals in 3 games, and that net presence is something that we probably lacked a bit last year, and you see the benefit of it, and you can say a lucky bounce off his hip, but he's in the right spot. He put pucks to the net. A guy's going to be there, and a lot of times those type of guys get rewarded with those bounces.
Let's start to look at the weekend. You've got Manchester first. What threats will they pose? I mean, interestingly, you lost here to them. You've won twice there, including pre-season. How do you see Friday, first of all?
They're a good team. They're a good team. I think we're finding that out earlier in the season here. As you mentioned there, they came in and outworked us for 60 minutes the last time they were here. So I think that is probably our main priority, is make sure that we outwork them. But they got a lot of talent on top as well. They got a goalie that's winning them hockey games. They've got a good back end that, is dependable. They defend well, and they've got 3 lines that can score. So, we're certainly going to have to be at our best, come Friday.
And what about Fife on Saturday? I mean, obviously, we've been there and won. Don't know about you, but I was watching the game from afar against Steelers, and obviously they took it deep. Surely that win's going to come soon for them. I know they've lost another guy, but what's crucial for you and their mindset for the game on Saturday?
Well, look, I think us, again, playing on the Friday and then long journey up makes it difficult. And yes, I did watch the Fife-Sheffield game, probably two and a half periods of it, and I thought Fife played a good hockey game. They were competing, they were defending well, they were getting stops, and it's never easy. So we'll obviously focus on Manchester, and then when we finish that, then we got to turn our attention to Fife. But certainly not a gimme at all. And they got some good quality up there, and I think still trying to find their identity as a group. And certainly don't want to be the team that allows them to do that.
So there'll be a different looking lineup this weekend, which feels the same every week, but I guess every team can say that. But in particular, you've got Ollie and Vinny Ulrich on GB duty. So how are you going to manage, I guess, the guys' ice time? Because some are going to get a lot more.
Yeah, so I think obviously we're still unsure completely what our lineup's going to look like this weekend. So a couple guys that are 50-50, but once we know, I mean, being down Finley and Ollie, you know, that's going to put us in a position that we're either looking at a 11-5 situation or a 10-6 situation. So, you know, it's going to be increased minutes for certain guys, and when that happens, you know, that it brings all your details into light, into the fact that you got to be dialed in. You got to be even more disciplined. You know, you got to manage the puck better, because if guys are playing more minutes, you don't want to spend less time defending. So you got to be smart. So, and guys got to be ready. You know, shifts got to be shorter. You know, we don't have the 4 blocks that we can roll out and spread the minutes. So, you know, short shifts got to be shorter. We got to be smarter. And, you know, once we recognize what our lineup's going to be, we can plan around that a little bit better.
Just one more question, because they're getting ready for a concert here. It's getting noisy. I said I wasn't going to ask you, but I am, because I feel like we've been on this journey. Your Blue Jays lost in the 11th innings, was it? I mean, I actually ended up staying up to watch some of it, and I got really engrossed in it. Just talk us through the emotions, because it was almost like our playoff final against Cardiff, the fine margins, wasn't it?
Well, I told the guys I was probably as stressed, if not more, than I was in the playoff final last year. And, you know, I was sitting on my sofa kind of like this. And look, I think if there's ever an example of fine lines between winning and losing, it was that. And it was a heck of a season for them. It was a heck of a playoff run. And they had multiple chances to win it, and they just came up short. And then, you know, usually when you give teams another lifeline, they end up burning you, and that's what happened. But yeah, no, I was gutted for them, because it was such an exciting year in terms of performances, results, but you could see on the field how much they enjoyed playing together and the camaraderie of the team. It was a fun season for them, and it was as good of a season a fan could have without winning everything, you know, I think, as you can get. So, yeah, I gave the boys an extra day on Monday just to get over it.
Appreciate it, Danny.
Yeah, all right, cheers.